Hey there, Tarot people. So, card of the day, the Five of Pentacles. Now, if we have a look at the Five of Pentacles, symbolism is there are two figures, one hunched over, one with crutches, one with bare feet, one with like a bell of a leper here, walking in the snow in some storm in front of the Five Pentacles, which seems like a stained glass window of a church, which is lovely and bright, and yet these two people are walking past, nearly ignoring it. So the fives are a very challenging, conflicting energy in the tarot. They always are. And this conflict or this challenge or that which is most difficult for us is coming up with our relationship to Pentacles, which is work and money and our body, and which is our health and our wealth all included. And so our relationship here to the five is a relationship of lack of self-worth, low self-esteem, unworthiness in general, a feeling of not good enough. This is a card that we can all relate to. It's one of the, for me, it's one of the most important cards of the tarot deck, in that it teaches us the harshest of lessons. It's a very dark card, but it's this poor me syndrome that we will fall into at many moments. It's this victim mentality which makes us less than the lowest of the low, and it will make us, and it will attract into our lives all sorts of negative stories. And there is ill health here, there is poverty here, there is very low feelings of ourself in general. So basically the two figures represent the crippling belief system that we hold on to, that cripples our lives and keeps us in this very low and negative manifestation cycle, more than anything else, where we believe we're not good enough in some way or another, and the universe will match that belief and show us how not good enough we actually are, which will then strengthen our belief. It will help us be more convinced that we are definitely not good enough, because look, we have proof. And then we'll spiral downwards into depression, into a deep sense of unworthiness. And this will cause us mental stories, physical health stories. This will mean that we will attract more negative energy into our life. If we hold on to this poor me story, we will naturally attract somebody that is going to put us down, maybe, or push us down, or help us keep ourselves down, so that we can then blame them for all of their badness and naughtiness and all of their abusive nature, when in reality what is taking place here is a whole bunch of abusive belief systems that keep us in a lower vibrational state of mind and a lower vibrational state of manifestation. So this is something that we really need to own up to, and this card is calling for that honesty. It's calling for us to, hey, take a look at that inner critic programming and trauma and pain and sickness that you have inside of your body and inside of your mind. They are one and the same. We need to really own our previous hurt, own our previous traumas, so that we are not acting in a reactive way to them. What I mean by this is, so a trauma will take place in the past. We'll feel a rejection from a parent. We'll feel put down in some way by a friend. And this will cause an emotional stimulus inside of us. And this emotional stimulus inside of us will make us feel bad. And if we repeat this memory inside of our mind, if we think about it often, then we will provoke this emotion to come up again and again and again. And before we know what's going on, we're in a bad mood, and that mood turns into a personality trait, and that personality trait turns into a lack of belief in oneself and self-doubt in general, and low self-esteem. And when it is backed up by another experience and then another experience, then that low self-esteem becomes even stronger, and we lose faith in ourselves, and we lose faith in that higher nature of ourselves, which is why we're walking past the spiritual church, if you like, or our spiritual truth. We're walking past that higher nature inside of us, ignoring it. That's not for us. We are not worthy of that. We'd rather, abuse ourselves than put ourselves, make ourselves a burden for somebody else. Or we may find that we will rather blame somebody for what they have done to us, or for the environment that they've created, which has made us the way we are, instead of owning up to our mental belief systems that have really been the primary cause that have locked us in cycles of sort of negativity, and have brought us to this place which, to be honest, this is the bottom. This is the bottom of the barrel that we are scraping, and this is the lowest manifestation that we can experience in our lives. This is where we are feeling so down and so low that there is only one place to go, and that's the beauty of this. We are forced to come face to face with ourselves. Why? Because we can't go any lower than where we are right now, right here. We're feeling in a dark, negative space, and it's a great time to become aware of those habits and those mental constructs, those programs inside of us, and our ideas and belief systems that come from trauma and come from pain, come from loss, so that we can understand that these patterns are not there so that we cling to them forever in our life, but we can actually create new belief systems which are contrary to those beliefs which don't serve us, which keep us in a dark emotional space, and will make us just live our life as if we are attached to the past, and we are unable to create new things in the future because we are too attached to these old stories and this old pain, this old hurt from our past experiences. When this happens, we need to let go of them, and in order to let go of it, you really need to become aware of what we are actually holding on to. So this awareness of what we're holding on to is the positive aspect of this card. It's about, hey, let's really look inside and see how that poor me victim mentality is actually what it really believes in. Where does it come from? Let's understand it, because when you understand it, it's easier to let go, and you go, oh my gosh, it comes from that experience, and I'm holding on to that experience 30 years later, 40 years later, and I'm still paying the price for the shame and the guilt and the pain that comes from that trauma. Yes, we can still be paying the price from something that happened, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and we are very much in the past, living our life as if that past reality is the only reality for us. And becoming aware of these stories and becoming aware of these programs inside of us can empower us for change, and can give us this ability to wake up and go, hey, can I choose something different? Really? Is this all there is for me, or can I really choose something different? And it's that choice that this darkness and this hole will bring us to. And that's the positive aspect of this card that we are asked to look at, so that we can practice choosing being somebody different. Because we're not going to change anything in our lives from a space of lack if we don't sort out that idea of lack and that belief of lack in the future. Nothing's going to come to us unless we embrace that and we own that feeling, that belief inside of us, and go, hey, let's take that and let's throw it away. That's the message of the Five of Pentacles. I hope you've enjoyed it in some way, and I know that everybody can relate to this lack of self-worth in more ways than 10. Take a look at the ways that you relate and see if we can't create different programs and different ideas about our reality and about who we really are.